One of the biggest misunderstandings young professionals have is this. They believe their work will speak for itself. But in the workplace, your work doesn't speak for itself. You speak for your work. And if you cannot communicate what you're doing and what you need or what is delaying your work, what has been done, the risks at hand, people may assume you're not performing even when you're working very hard. In the workplace, visibility is created through communication. And that is why professional communication is not just a skill, it's a career skill. Welcome back to the Area of Young Professional. My name is Fetoluwa Dunsen. This is episode 6 of our series, Transition from School to the Workplace. So far, we've talked about the mindset shift, the gap between school and work, unwritten rules, emotional intelligence. And today, we're talking about communication because your ideas, your effort, your work, and intelligence can easily be ignored if you don't know how to communicate professionally. In the workplace, people don't just evaluate your work, they evaluate how you communicate your work. So, communication is not just about talking. When many people hear communication, they'll think they're thinking about talking. But professional communication is much broader than that. It includes emails, meetings, presentation, giving status updates, asking for help, explaining problems, escalating issues when there's one, giving and receiving feedbacks as well. So communication at work is not just about speaking English or sounding confident. Professional communication is about making other people's work easier through clarity and information. So, if people always have to chase you for updates, asking you to clarify your message or even correcting misunderstanding, it affects your professional reputation very quickly. So, what exactly does bad communication look like? Let me give you a few examples of what poor professional communication looks like. One, submitting your work without context, missing deadlines without informing anyone. Three, sending one-line emails with no explanation. Four, saying, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, I'm working on it, without timelines. Five, waiting until the deadline day to say there's a problem. Six, not responding to messages for a long time. Seven, escalating issues without informing your manager first. So, many workplace problems are not performance issues, they are communication problems. Someone may be working very hard, but because they're not communicating properly, it looks like they're not performing. Let's talk about email and message etiquette because that is where a lot of professional communications happen. It is important to know that simple things matter more than you think when you're communicating via email or sending a message. You must ensure you're using a clear subject line, proper greeting or proper salutation. Get straight to the point. Be polite and professional in your email. Use paragraphs, state actions clearly, indicate deadlines, know who to copy, respond on time. For example, instead of writing, please see attached, you can write, Hi John, please find attached the updated report for Q1 review. Kindly review and share feedback by Thursday so we can finalize before the client meeting. You can see that, you're communicating what needs to be done effectively in that email. You attached a timeline, right? And there's a feedback that you also expect. So good communication actually saves time. Poor communication create more work. So there's also one important rule that I also want us to take note, which is communicating early. This is one of the rules that can save your career many times. If a task will be delayed, you can already foresee an upcoming delay. Communicate it early. If you're confused, you're not sure what has been assigned to you, ask questions early. Don't wait for the deadline when you're supposed to submit and you're saying, oh, I don't understand it. If there's a risk, communicate it early. If you made a mistake, there's an error somewhere, do not wait for your manager or for your boss to discover the error. Communicate it early. One of the things that managers or bosses don't like is surprises. Bad news early is better than bad news late. And silence at work is not professional. Silence is risks. You want to make sure that your communication at work is pretty much structured. So when we say structure, what are we talking about? When giving update at work, try to structure your communications very well. More like what is happening, what has been done, what is pending, are there any risks or any issue you're foreseeing? What are the next steps? What timeline are we looking at? If you communicate like this consistently, people will see you as organized, responsible, and professional. Managers trust people who communicate before they ask. If you want to grow quickly in your career, learn to communicate professionally and very early. Send clear emails, give regular updates, ask questions early, communicate delays early, confirm expectations, do not assume it, summarize meetings, document decisions. These things may look small, but they build something very important, which is trust. And in the workplace, opportunities don't always go to the smartest person or the most hardworking person. They often go to the most reliable person. And reliability is built through communication. This is there of a young professional. We're not just focusing on working hard. We are helping you build a career with awareness, professionalism, and intention. And I will see you in the next episode.